Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. First of all, we're going to have roll call.
Trustee Harrod. Trustee Montez.
Here.
Trustee Sierra.
Here.
Trustee Slover.
Here.
Slover. President Hill.
Here.
President Johnson.
Here. Okay, we'd like that approval of the minutes, 13th.
Move to approve.
Question? Roll call.
Trustee
Aye.
Harrod. Yes.
Aye.
Trustee Sierra.
Aye.
Trustee Slover.
Aye.
Vice President.
Aye.
President Johnson.
Aye. Motion carries. Is there anyone here citizen want to address the board? Anyone? Online or? Okay. Staff reports, Ms. Cahill's in the house.
The calendar of information. Best. I found this really interesting. Apps and
I love it. Trustees, thank you all. Everybody, she's brave for calling me up to talk about animals. Yes, you gave me 2.5, 3 minutes. So we do have it on the consent docket for a giraffe feeder tonight. I was thinking about it back there. It's actually a replacement of a feeder that was a wooden feeder, a pole that was 22, 23 feet tall. And one of our amazing giraffes, Emmy, got mad and she grabbed the hook on it and ripped it in half. So the wooden ones don't work. We have a growing tower. A tower is what you call a group of giraffes. We have I call him little guy. He's almost 11 feet now. And with him growing, along with Vivian and Emmy, we're going to need to make sure that we have enough spaces for them to appropriately eat. And it's also important that they eat in a certain way. So Emmy and Vivian are 14 and 15 and a half feet tall, respectively. And they're kind of small. Fitz, our little guy, he's going to grow up to be almost 20 feet tall. And when they do that, they're used to eating on trees, and they need to extend their necks. They need to extend their heads back. They need to use their tongue to get to the food, so that way they keep the muscles in their neck and their head and their jaw in shape. It's just like us. My doctor says I should probably watch what I eat and eat a little differently myself. We do have a couple other feeders in the yard, so it's not that we're without a feeder, but we also have a breeding recommendation with Fitz and one of the giraffes. So we could very quickly go from 3 giraffes up to 4 or 5, and then we need the appropriate places for them to eat. Did I hit my 2.5 minutes? And questions, yeah.
Watch the draft. Ever not leave. Important part of that, and I certainly don't about the gaps in our. But those opportunities, like they're wild. That our job.
And I would agree that it's not, so it's not bad, but it's definitely not optimal for a 17-foot giraffe to try to splay its legs and get to something on the ground. And this tower has, I think we went with 3 hooks, didn't we? 3 different, two. So it still has 2 different ones that can go up to about 24, 25 feet tall. Now, I just said that Fitz would be about 20 feet when he's full grown, but then when he tilts his neck back, then he has a 24-inch tongue. You know, that gets him up to 23, 24 feet in the air. And it also provides some shade. And then along with a TV that we're using for interpretive outside, even if we don't have an education interpreter out there to be able to talk to the guests, we're going to be able to have interpretation on the TV to let them know what they're seeing from this giraffe feeder and why this is so important for the giraffes. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't see a picture of, of what it looks like, and you were talking about it kind of can go up with the giraffes. So am I envisioning kind of like a pole, and then like that will be able to extend? Is that right? Or
So it'll be, I think the pole itself is 30 feet tall. Then it
Okay.
has I think the diameter, Becky can correct me if I'm wrong, I think the diameter of the shade structure is at about 26, 27 feet. And then it has a crank at the bottom where the keepers will be able to use a drill, and they'll hook that drill on it after they get what we call browse, which is just cut limbs attached to it, and then they'll crank it up. They can crank the different sides, the different heights. So that way, if we do have a baby, then one can eat low and one can eat high. Because when Fitz becomes a full-grown 3,000-pound bull, he's going to eat where he chooses to eat. And we need to have a lot of different options for those females to be able to eat. You're welcome.
What kind of trees they normally eat?
So they normally eat acacia trees or acacia leaves in the savannah.
We could
No, they don't do well. We're working with Jacob Cuban and the horticulture department though on doing browse programs within the park district and making sure that we have plenty of browse for them to eat. We're also installing a browse freezer, so that way when we cut the browse, we can put the browse in there. It'll freeze, and we can have that all winter long, which is phenomenal. A lot of northern zoos do not have that, and that really increases their quality of life.
Long tongue,
I'm sorry?
a 2-foot long.
Yes, yes.
It's amazing.
Yep, 2 feet long. And Fitz is still so young, he hasn't quite learned how to use it, so we're having to trick him because he still just wants to suckle. So we'll get a leaf, and then he'll stick his tongue out a little bit, and we'll grab it and try to pull it out. So,
Might be crossing the line here, so
oh, sorry.
this is a family-friendly TV show on YouTube tonight.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm just kidding. You're fine.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
See, this was way better than my normal executive director's report. I'm gonna let Max guest star more often. Good work, man.
Thank you. You all have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who's chief?
Matt and I are gonna help answer any questions that on this report. We're ready.
Any questions for the chief?
I do have one question. On page 1, the second to last part, it says juvenile or big.
They're like a BB gun, but they shoot. They're like a plastic pellet. Stop.
Very common. These
Like a soft.
we called them. My kids. They're soft.
BB gun.
Well, with the plastic, well,
Different-
airsoft
yeah,
is
it's a little softer. I
softer
think
piece of
they're-
plastic.
That is something that we see a lot.
Got it. I didn't know what it was. Thank you.
And Matt, at the top, you have a couple of reports that say OV. What's OV?
Ordinance violation.
Any other questions?
Or any chief had mentioned that encouraging that reflective reported.
Yes, I think so. I don't know how it compares to activity last July. I would have to look.
I wasn't certain what kind of, wouldn't be, wouldn't,
He would have to answer the question. I'd be,
I think you'd see that more in the non-crime reports. It's not that they weren't tickets or that, but if there were, one of the things that I know that we have prioritized with him, the need to know when things are happening, like what you see in those non-crime reports that we might be able to address from an operational standpoint, or that it is something that doesn't necessarily require a report, but to try to document what experiences are so that we are being responsive.
So to make sure I'm understanding, because I had a similar thought, it's safe to say that based on the crime report types that have been captured, we would have captured those traditionally anyway, just to the level of gravity of. That's what I'm hearing.
Based on the review of these would be, yes, these are the categories that we would normally see in that report, and it was a busy month. We also had, more officers in July working more hours than we did in June, so some of that may also be a part of that, but July is traditionally a very busy month because it's hot. Many times it's super hot and you see more, you tend to have more altercations and incidents where police are involved.
Did
I
we have
think-
lower officer numbers last year at this time?
Like, we would have been, I think, one lower than we are this year.
again, speculating here, but I think a good example of documentation here would be Lakeview Recreation on 7/24. Found property, found backpacks, property issued
Yep.
back to parents. In that case where you found property and the rightful owners were there, you gave it back, that may not have made a non-crime report previously, but to Chief's request for that sort of documentation and attention to detail, you do see that here.
Agreed.
The abandoned vehicle. I don't recall seeing a report that had abandoned vehicle. And they all contribute to the number 32 top, right?
Yes.
When will the chief be back?
We'll be back Friday morning.
Friday? Okay, now with something, in the meantime, is there anyone else that's on the police force that's out there that could take his place? We have questions for, that's on the streets? I mean, you guys, I understand, but certain questions I asked, it has to be from a police officer that's out here, that's in the streets, that's,
Officer Meacham, who else is on duty tonight? Is there one other officer or two? Right.
well,
So we generally have two officers on duty at this time, and so
Well, I would like to see in the future, if the chief is not going to be here, that he would have somebody in his place that works the streets. Is that possible?
sure, we can make that happen.
Because I don't know what his schedule was, but we only have meetings only, twice a month, And his presence sometimes is needed, particularly right now. But I don't know, maybe he had something very important that he had to
He
do.
did.
I understand that.
He's out of state.
Things happen, but he should have someone, I would like to have somebody here from his department in the
Sure.
future to answer questions that we may have that's on the street, basically.
Please,
Okay.
please know that he and Matt and I are in constant communication. I understand your request and we will honor it, but know that we certainly are well informed of everything that's happening in his position and talk to him, it feels like at least once or twice a day right now. So we'd be happy to make sure that happens, but know that we are well informed and can try to, and have addressed the questions raised here tonight.
There were some people gathered at Manual Monday,
Mm-hmm.
a call from the chief of Peoria. I didn't see Edelman there either.
Well, that call came out late Sunday night, and that was, I mean,
6:45.
yeah. If with more notice, we certainly would have had a larger presence there.
Okay, all right. All right, moving along. Anybody have any other questions? Thank you. Committee reports. Finance?
Finance Committee. The Finance Committee has examined the bills and moves that the President and Secretary be authorized to issue orders on the treasurer for several amounts.
Okay, so motion,
So moved.
Second.
question?
That was the motion.
I mean,
Oh, that one.
yeah, good stack. Roll call.
Second.
If you did, don't make the motion.
Motion, trustee Silvers.
Yeah.
Trustee Hara,
Aye.
trustee Montez,
Aye.
trustee Sierra,
Aye.
trustee Silver,
Aye.
trustee Slover,
Aye.
vice president Hill,
Aye.
president Johnson.
Aye. Motion carries. 8B, Planning Committee minutes. You need to approve me.
Just need approval to.
They're approved.
or
Just
approve.
for information. Yeah, just if you have any questions.
Does have any questions? Does anyone have any questions about the minutes?
This is back to our old committee process. so-
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, 8C.
The EIA minutes are before you. We'll take any comments or questions. Thank you, President Johnson.
All right,
Just the same thing where the minutes, the approved minutes and just for FYI.
Particular committees and they're not committees of the whole.
Right,
So,
okay.
For the whole board to.
One comment, it's not so much a question on the minutes, but at the last meeting, I expressed some concerns about DEI requirements that we have at the Park District being out of balance with expectations of our community. And in response to some of the discussions we had at that meeting, I have put together what I would consider to be a proposal to go along with some of the things we discussed about holding up on some of the wording and the verbiage of the pillars document for DEI that I think fits with that. It would help us maybe bring in balance with a supply and demand so that we'd have more of a supply of people that might be able to go into some of these DEI jobs, as well as the expectations, that we have for our overall community. So I don't know when we're going to put that forward, but I think it would be at the next DEI committee meeting.
Yeah, I'm welcome, or President Johnson, did you want to take that or did you want me to?
you
Okay,
chair.
I'm more than happy to have a conversation about that, to include that in the DEIA meeting. I think proper process would be that we figure out an appropriate time to have that discussion.
Sure.
And then if and when it is that time, then we figure out when to put it on the agenda.
Fantastic.
And then the board has to chime in on it.
Yeah, and this is just a proposal to
Yeah.
put in front of you to go along with some of the other adjustments that may be made. And I thought this would be a good time to do it. I think we're already on hold, basically.
Is the board in agreement with that?
Yeah,
I think-
just for clarification, this is
It has-
verbiage regarding.
Hasn't been on, it hasn't been for.
So what?
No.
It's not the planning committee though, right? It's-
No. maybe it's
His
DEIA.
comment
DEIA.
is not referring to the later agenda item with the DEIA commitment document. Trustee Slover can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he is referring to our procurement policy that we adopted about 2 years ago. As it pertains to minority contracting. And so I don't want to speak for him, but his concern, as I have heard it, is that he doesn't agree with the current language. And I'm saying that hesitantly because I really don't want to speak for you.
No, that's for sure.
So he doesn't agree with the current language in our policy manual, at which he has said at the last strategy meeting that we had 2 weeks ago, as well as last week's DEIA committee, that he would like for the district to revisit that procurement language from a policy standpoint And as our process is, it would be most appropriate to first have that conversation in the DEIA committee. And then if the consensus of the committee were to make a recommendation to the full board, at which time that would be hold on or voted on in the committee. And that recommendation, to President Johnson's point, will come to the full board.
Just a point of clarification, it kind of fits into both. We talked about it, at the last meeting, and so it would be in the minutes. And so I thought this would be a good time to bring it up. I could have brought it up later on because a part of it revolves around the pillars document that was being discussed at that point in time. So it's kind of it's a proposal for the pillar document that we're now reviewing where we want to go with that. And this would go along with some of those things that you just talked about. So.
Yeah, but to Vice President Hill's point, there are two different items. One is the procurement policy and one is the DEIA commitment document. And so she was asking where's your concern with the language that you're drafting that wouldn't go in the DEIA commitment document, that would go in the procurement policy.
Well, I'll let you review it and then you can kind of give me your view on where it fits because it's
Perfect.
kind of a bit of massaging of the DEI commitment document, but it's also with the pillars agreement too. So it's more specifically talking about the pillars agreement and then some things that go along with that in the pillar agreement that could be additive that would help us, with this commitment side of the equation. So they both fit together. They're just a little bit different, in that aspect.
Okay.
And I also think it was the August meeting. It's not these July minutes. It's not the July.
Oh, I'm sorry, the August meeting, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah, I think that's where there may be some confusion.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry
well,
about the
Yeah,
timing
it's
of it.
not about these minutes.
I just
It's
thought this would
about-
be a good time just to make sure. I don't want to drop it on people without anybody seeing it or hearing about it before. I just thought it would be a good time to say, this is what I'm looking at trying to propose and wanted to know the best way to do that. And I think what you suggested is we just go back to the next DEI committee.
Right, the committee. Now, what you proposed, the paper you just have now, is that something that you just rewritten?
What's that?
Is something you rewritten?
It's something that has basically taken what was already in the pillars agreement and kind of did some massaging on it and added some other aspects to it that I think kind of helps clarify some of the things that maybe we had some problems with before, as far as the thought process that pillar, 2 was repetitive with pillar 4, when I really thought that pillar 2 and pillar 4 actually work together, where pillar 2, in my opinion, when I read it, and I could be all wrong, is that I thought it was more about internal, positioning or additional pool of employees for internal hires, where number 4 was more external and how we'd work with contractors and those kinds of things for the future.
Okay.
So,
All right, that's gonna come back to the committee, correct?
Yeah, I just want to put out there, President Johnson, as you made in the last strategy, or the point you made in the last strategy meeting, is that Trustee Slover and I have not had an opportunity to sit down since his appointment to the DEIA committee. And so I think next steps is him and I to sit down to figure out what he's trying to get done. And just a point of clarification, I think it's important, as I made in the minutes and strategy meeting, the concerns are not collective, they are individual concerns. And I want that to be accurate, that these are concerns of Trustee Slover. And from my understanding, they haven't been shared by the full board or anyone else on the board.
Correct. That's why we want to make that happen. All right.
And in the meantime, I have had a chance to talk to it with Trustee Harrod, and she gave me some good advice on things, and I tried to incorporate that in what I put together. So this would allow us to have a good conversation on it, because, it may not be collective, but this is my opinion of what our constituents would be looking for. So that's where I'm coming from.
Okay. All right. Thank you both, gentlemen. And we will get along on this.
Sorry to interject that.
Thank you, President Johnson.
That's all right. Yeah, you were. That's all right. Yes. Okay. All righty. Okay. So 8C, we okay on that?
No
On the
comments
minutes?
or no additional comments
No,
or
no,
questions?
no additional comments? Okay, thank you. 9A, We have the conduct ordinance amendment.
We haven't, we were gonna discuss some of that in our previous meeting and we were not able to discuss it. I'm not sure, I'm not sure that there's consensus on.
On the
this
first
item as a
read?
result.
I'd agree.
And we
Okay,
were
so
going to-
so what do we do? We want to,
Can we defer the
defer this
first
or bring it back?
read?
This with the, this the
Bring it back,
favor? Trustee, Montez?
Yes, I would prefer to defer.
To discuss this further? Okay,
Can, yes, I move to defer
Until when?
to the next.
Next regularly
Motion.
Strategy
scheduled.
committee, to the strategy meeting where we've discussed
to
it
the next.
before?
Board meeting.
but you got to have time to discuss it first, don't you?
We'll discuss in the session. Is that right?
Aren't we discussing, discussing,
We'll
gosh,
discuss it before
discussing, discussing this in the recess strategy meeting that we'll have later this evening?
Yes.
So I think the motion is, correct me if I'm wrong, that you move to defer the first reading until the next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Right.
Right, that's my, thank you.
No problem.
Well, but we're not necessarily gonna come back with the same document, so I don't know if that's the right motion.
The motion was to defer.
Until the next regularly scheduled.
But if we have
But
to
if we-
rewrite it,
If we change it,
do we have to go through another process at the strategy meeting?
My understanding
If we
is
change it,
that
it's
you're
gonna be the first
deferring the
reading.
subject matter, not necessarily deferring the first reading. Is that accurate?
Oh, no,
Yes.
that was not the motion I just made.
Oh.
So thank you for that clarification. So you would need to modify your motion to defer the subject matter to the next regularly scheduled meeting.
strategy meeting.
Or yeah, Kevin, make the motion, please.
Which meeting are you headed back to?
Well, I was hoping to refer it to the next board meeting.
Well, we might all agree it's okay after we
So
talk
a
about it.
motion.
And that'll be the
to defer would
first
be
reading
that
I think that's
you
where-
defer in the
I don't think
future. You
Steve
could
was that
refer it back
against
to committee,
Yeah, that's where you want to go.
maybe
You want-
rather than defer, maybe refer it to strategy committee.
Yeah. If you wanna discuss it,
Yes, right.
yeah.
Right, you do want
We
to,
defer to strategy.
Okay, so
trustee,
move to defer,
Refer. Motion to refer it back to strategy.
back to strategy.
Second
Thank you.
that.
Yes.
Roll call.
okay, we all good?
I think so.
Thank you.
Reagan, second. Question? Roll call.
Trustee Harrod,
Aye.
trustee Montez,
Aye.
trustee Sierra,
Aye.
trustee Silver,
Aye.
trustee Slover, vice president Hill,
Aye.
president Johnson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Bird.
Thank you.
Okay, the Osline Grant Application Chartwell Park Improvements.
Sure. This is another document that will need approved by the board as part of the as part of the application process for the OSLED grant application for the Chartwell redevelopment. This one is the acquisition history certification. So staff recommends certifying the attached DOC 2A form.
Okay, your motion?
So moved.
Second.
Question? Roll call?
Trustee Harrod,
Aye.
trustee Montez,
Aye.
trustee Sierra,
Aye.
trustee Silver,
Aye.
trustee Slover,
Aye.
vice president Hill,
Aye.
president Johnson.
Aye.
you.
Motion carries. Okay, the peer grown lease agreement?
This is the second part of the conversation that we had about our relationship with Peoria Grown at True and Pavilion that started the last meeting with the memorandum of understanding. This is a lease agreement before the board tonight to move their operations to the lower level of True and Pavilion with the intent of them being able to offer their produce market more days than just the single day that they currently offer. Staff recommends approval of the lease agreement.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Question? Roll call?
Trustee Harrod,
Aye.
trustee Montez,
Aye.
trustee Sierra,
Aye.
trustee Silver,
Aye.
trustee Slover,
Aye.
vice president Hill,
Abstain.
and president Johnson.
Aye.
you.
Motion carries. Okay, we have some calendar of consent items from 10A to 10F. Is there anything anybody want to discuss?
I move the calendar of consent items A through F.
Second.
Question? Roll call.
Trustee Harrit?
Aye.
Trustee Montez?
Aye.
Trustee Sierra?
Aye.
Trustee Silver?
Aye.
Trustee Slover?
Aye.
Vice President Hill?
Aye.
President Johnson?
Aye.
Yep.
Motion carries. Pending business.
President Johnson, as a result of our strategy meeting 2 weeks ago, there was a motion to move for a review and approval to the full board our revised DEIA commitment document. Just for everyone's context and clarity, the revision consists of the compilation of pillars 2, which is an internal workforce focus, with pillars 4, which is a community workforce support pillar, just for the efficiency of the meeting and the modernization of what we are continuing to build out in the working committee. Unfortunately, as a result of some federal executive legislation or executive orders, there's been something that caused us to hit a pause in that approval of that document. So right now, we need to defer this back to committee. So as a result, I'll make a motion to defer the DEIA commitment document for further review and discussion to the committee.
Question? Roll call.
Trustee Harrit?
Aye.
Trustee Montez?
Aye.
Trustee Sierra?
Aye.
Trustee Silver?
Aye.
Trustee Slover?
Aye.
Vice President Hill?
Aye.
President Johnson?
Aye.
Thank you.
Communications, anyone say anything on the impact report from Hillsborough? Okay. They're doing a good job over there too. Kids are really enjoying some of the work that they do. I don't think they can, they really do a great job in this community for that population. Any other business?
President Johnson, I just have 2 quick items under other business. One is a sincere condolence to the family, the Pebbles family, as a result of the unpredictable and very sudden loss of Dakita Pebbles, who's also a very significant working member of the NAACP Executive Board. She had unexpectedly passed two days ago, and she's also been a very strong supporter of our community outreach work, especially around power lunches as well. And so I think on behalf of the district, if appropriate, we just extend those heartfelt condolences to the Pebbles family during this time. The second item is just some quick comments, just as a ground setting for the state of our community as it pertains to the recent violence that we've seen in the south side of Peoria, particularly around, not in, Manual High School. I think that intentional language is very important. Just goes to remind us how much work we have ahead of us as a community. Appreciate the Park District's responsiveness and support to those events as a community partner. And so just reminding us all, as we do serve different constituencies, that the realities of our constituents look very different from each corner of the district. And my constituents currently are, they're hurting right now. So just appreciate the thoughts and active participation and support as we continue to address what we see to be just senseless violence, especially amongst young people.
Thank you for those words, and to, yeah, there is some major concerns in our community at this time. I'm very concerned about that also as well. But thank you for sharing those comments. Anything else? Yes.
I had sort of related to the HISBR report, but not related. I became aware of a young man, Cody Byerly, who is an occupational therapist who is passionate about finding finding ways to adapt recreational opportunities for people with disabilities. And he created, he's a young man, I'm bad with ages, but he's less than 30, I think. Prairie Land Adaptive. And was gonna hopefully have gotten some information to Katie and to Emily by this time, but I hadn't gotten that done. But he is organizing a resource, an expo on September 27th, a Saturday at Bradley Markin Center. And you will have how you can play basketball and different sports, including pickleball, with adaptations. So I'm anxious to see that one. But anyway, it's just so good to see a young person who's so passionate about what he's doing. So I'm hoping that we can support his efforts in whatever way possible. So, thank you.
Thank you. It's interesting. Like to have the opportunity to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Can you share that with all?
I'll ask it to be mailed out, the flyer. Yeah.
Okay, anything else on other business? I think we don't have any action steps reviews. Does an emotion go back into,
We have two action items.
we do?
Yes. The conduct ordinance has been deferred and I'm sorry, DEIA, is that an action item technically?
To send out trustee Slover's edits,
Yeah.
that is an action item, so we will send those out to the full board
Okay,
for
I know
review.
that. Okay. Do we go back recess?
Yes, please. Oh, no.
Are we adjourned?
Adjourn this. Oh, yeah,
We have to go back upstairs?
we do, sorry.
We can't
We
stay
need
here?
the,
Adjourn this meeting first.
we need the
Alright.
PowerPoint.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Question, roll
You
call.
can't put it in here.
Why can't I go back up?
Trustee Harrod,
Gotta have the PowerPoint.
Aye.
trustee Montez,
Aye.
trustee
Closer
Sierra,
to your car.
Aye.
trustee Silver,
Aye.
trustee Slover,
I
vice
promise.
president Hill,
Aye.
president Johnson.
Aye.